it's got to change. It's got to change like from the bottom up. Like they have to do something in the high schools and kind of start the kids thinking about careers that I need to be present and I need to be part of things and I need to be volunteering my time. And so that I'm starting to become someone when I don't show up, they go, hey, where were you? I didn't know she was a smoker and I sent her to a cancer center. I had a doctor call me and go, are you out of your mind?
Welcome to The Growth Switch, the podcast where we dive into the strategies, struggles, and breakthroughs of bold business leaders. I'm your host, Jules Fox, growth strategist and lead content creator at Aries Media. I'm here to uncover how today's top brands are scaling, overcoming challenges, and unlocking sustainable success. Now, for those of you just tuning in, Aries Media helps grow successful brands with comprehensive hands-on support for sales, business development, and performance marketing. Go ahead and drop growth into the comments if you want to learn how to do that. Now, today, we are fortunate enough to have Lisa Cimorelli as our guest. She's a seasoned business development leader in staffing. She has nearly 2 decades working at Morrissey. She's known for building long-term client partnerships, helping healthcare and administrative teams grow the right people in the right roles. And today we have her expertise. Lisa, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, for sure. So we were rapping a little bit before the show about your location and being in Florida. Tell me more about the location that you're in.
So I'm in an area of the Villages in Florida, which I believe is Wildwood is the city we're in. Kind of centered between Tampa, maybe an hour and 20 one way, Orlando, maybe an hour and 15 the other way. So I think it's a good location because we can draw talent from both locations. There's a lot of businesses moving into these areas. Ocala is an area that's growing a lot. They've got all kinds of building and new businesses coming in. Orlando, of course, is Orlando, and there's a ton of stuff going on there. And then, of course, Tampa is huge as well. So I think there's a lot of potential here for a company like ours to be successful.
And Jay Morrissey's been around for nearly 30 years at this point, but the Florida office is a little bit on the newer side, yeah?
That is true. I started, quote unquote, the Florida branch last June. And so right now our location is basically in my house. Yeah, which is fine. And so what I've been doing really is a lot of networking. One thing I found that was so different here than back in Connecticut is there's a lot of community interaction here in Florida. It's kind of amazing. I mean, there are specific networking opportunities that I've never seen before. So I'm part of I'm an ambassador for the Lady Lake Chamber. Lady Lake is a town near us. I'm part of some other chambers. I'm part of a SHRM chapter here. All these things I became involved with. And you could literally do this all day, every day. Just go to things.
Yeah.
And meet people and shake hands. And one thing I learned pretty quickly up in Ocala at their large chamber event was that people in Florida do business with people they know and people they like. And I mean, I think that's the same in probably anywhere, right? You want to like the person you're doing business with. But more so here, it seems very, I don't want to say cliquey, but very, like, oh yeah, we've lived in this area forever, or my family lived in this area forever. So how does somebody like me that works for a very, smaller company kind of break into that? And so what I've learned pretty quickly is that I need to be present and I need to be part of things and I need to be volunteering my time. And so that I'm starting to become someone when I don't show up, they go, hey, where were you? And so that is, I think, going to be how I kind of break into some of these companies here. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, how much of the growth that you've seen Jay Morrissey do in Connecticut and Massachusetts do you think would also apply to Florida?
I think it all applies. They are well known in the area. Synonymous with temp staffing. You say that and you say Jay Morrissey and, 9 out of 10 times people especially in healthcare are going to go, oh yeah, we've heard of them. Or, oh yeah, I know Eric. We don't have a lot of turnover. Eric Morrissey is our leader now. He's a son. I was there when he ran around the office and stole candy off my desk. And Eric Heller, who's my boss, been there 30 years. So, I mean, there's not a lot of turnover. The names stay the same. And that's unusual in staffing. Staffing places can be very, they have a lot of turnover. The people change. We're not Robert Half. We're not trying to be, but I'll tell you, they've been very successful in Connecticut and Mass. And I'm hoping that I can do that in Florida. It's not easy when it's just, you're out there trying to get the name out. So that's really what I'm doing. Just spreading the word and trying to break into some areas maybe that we haven't been in before. For instance, hospitality is one that's big here.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Good idea. Good strategies. Now, I'm wondering, what is the value of an in-person recruiting company? Because there's so many recruiting companies, a lot of pop-up shops that have been open 6 months, a year, and they're really focused on kind of virtual recruiting. So, what is the difference between being an in-person type of agency?
I'll tell you, I've done it both ways. And I think that the way we used to do it, I've been a recruiter since we faxed resumes. So, back in the day, and I believe that sitting down and interviewing someone face to face in a room, in an office, whatever, is honestly the best way to learn about people, to build a connection. If I take your resume and I just start shooting it out there and I've never actually met you, I don't know a lot about you. And so how can I make that best presentation? Here's an example. Right after everybody started doing the virtual thing, I met somebody. I talked to her on Zoom. It was fine. She seemed okay. I sent her for an interview in Connecticut. I didn't know she was a smoker, and I sent her to a cancer center. So how would I have known that? Had I met with her? Had I sat in a room with her? I probably would have known, right?
Right. Right.
I would have known.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had a doctor call me and go, "Are you out of your mind?"
My goodness.
So I think that you are missing great opportunities when you're not sitting down and meeting people. I also think that I used to be able to walk through the hospitals and walk through the businesses, and people would, "Oh, hey, Lisa, I was going to call you. Come in. I need to talk to you. You know what we need." You get a feeling for the place. You know what they need. They become reliant on you. Like, "Oh, Lisa knows exactly what kind of person we're going to need here. So we just need to tell her to get us another one." And
Yeah.
when you're not allowed to walk into these places anymore, security has changed, everything's changed. And a lot of times people don't even work in offices anymore. So I think you really are missing a lot of opportunities to make the right fit,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
this is about making a match.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, essentially, you're a matchmaker for businesses.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you find the best fit? You have to, the other thing is where's the loyalty, right? If I'm just sending your resume and then, hey, some other agency calls you and they're like, "Oh, I can get you, 4 cents more," whatever it is, then they're going to send your resume. So there's no loyalty. And I think when we used to sit in an office and really get to know people, get to know, "Oh, do you have 3 kids? Oh, that's great. Oh, your dog," whatever. And you have some kind of connection with them, I think they'll be a little more loyal to you.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Because I think that human connection is missing when you're online, when you're solely online,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I think it's hard. I don't love it. I know I'm probably sound like a old can't teach an old dog new tricks, but in between when I left Morrissey and I went to work for an RPO, the entire thing was remote. The whole company was remote. And they'd never met anybody. And so when I said things like, "Hey, can I fly out and meet my client?" And they were like, "What? No, we don't do that."
Yeah.
Okay, maybe we should.
They're like, yeah, no. Yeah. So you work across a number of industries: healthcare, IT, administrative staffing. What's one client challenge that never changes no matter what the industry is?
Finding good talent. I mean, finding good people, finding reliable people. And I do temp and direct hire. So different challenges for different things. In temp staffing, I've always said people temp for a reason, right? They either temp because they can't hold a job. They temp because it works for their life, right? Well, I'm just going to, temp, and then I'm going to, take the summer off with my kids. That's fine. And then you have people who are, find themselves maybe laid off. And so they figure, well, if I temp, maybe I can temp to hire. So there's different levels, and so one thing you have to do is you have to change the mindset of the client. "Oh, I don't want to temp. Why would I want to temp?" Right? They probably can't hold a job. So you have to kind of, convince them that, "Hey, no, that's not, this person doesn't fall in that category. This person falls in this category. They are in between jobs. They think this might be a great way to show you what they bring to the table." So that's temp. Direct hire is another set of issues, because you're, usually talking to someone who is employed, and maybe they're looking because something isn't right, or they feel like maybe they should be earning more money or benefits or location or whatever the things are. So those are always challenges too. So it depends on what you're doing, but the challenge is always just finding good, reliable candidates that will do what they say they're going to do.
Yeah. I mean, especially when the market gets a little wonky, we're in a really interesting market. We're not quite in a recession. Maybe we're about to be in a recession. Do you feel like right now, especially people are pulling back on the purse strings a little bit and they're a little bit less willing to
100%.
hire? Yeah.
I think I
So,
just lost you.
how do you navigate that situation?
Did I lose you?
I
There
have
you are.
I might have lost you there for a
I think
moment.
we were frozen. Yeah. Yeah, the answer is yes. I do think people are pulling back on the purse strings. Absolutely. It's our job to educate the client and let them know that it's actually cheaper to allow us to help them find someone than it is to just run ads and sort of have their internal HR, doing this screening and all of the things, right? Our job is not to just throw resumes at you. Our job is to provide you with a couple of candidates that really, really match what you're looking for. We're supposed to be consultative. We're supposed to be able to say to you, hey, I just found these 3 people. Here's why I'm sending them to you. They have this, this, and this. Go ahead and take a look. You could look at resumes on your own all day, so you don't need me for that. So it's important for us to show our value, to add value now more than ever. More than ever. So yeah, I do think they're pulling back the purse strings a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm not so sure. I don't know yet what the temp climate here in Florida is. Again, I'm newer to the area, so I'm learning and trying to figure that out.
Yeah. Yeah. It really is interesting because you're in like a destination location. You have these places in Connecticut and Massachusetts. I feel like, and I grew up in Hawaii here. A lot of times Hawaii was the destination, especially like teachers who were thinking of retiring. They would do their last 5 to 10 years in Hawaii because, they were getting poached. Some of the best teachers were getting poached because, Hawaii is just a great place to live. It's sunny and beautiful and stuff like that. And I feel like Florida is that retirement destination. So yeah, have you looked into that at all of like possibly like, hey, if you're reaching, the last 5-10 years of your career and you want to come down here in this professional field, come live in a great location?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we definitely put that in our search criteria. Hey, relocation or whatever. I am a huge advocate of where I live, which is the Villages, and I could talk about that forever. And there's a lot of things for people here. So I've been trying to convince my own children to move here because of the school system, because of what they offer. And if you work for the Villages, you're given all these wonderful benefits for free. I feel like I'm in a good spot to be able to convince people to come down here, so yeah, I think it's a great place.
Yeah. And I mean, it sounds like you're trying a ton of different things for growth, but you're just trying it and see what sticks. Is there anything specific that's blocking you? So while you're trying all of these growth strategies, is there anything specific that's like holding you back as far as what could make the company, double, 5 times, 10 times in the next few years?
I mean, that's a good question. I don't know if there's anything specific other than people's hesitation. But you're never going to get the order on the first try, right? So, I just have to stay the course. I have to knock on that door and knock on that door. And one thing I will say about my direct manager is he is consistent. He will call you every month for 10 years and eventually he'll get an order, but he just sticks with it. And so I think that's what I have to do. I have to stick with it. I am finally at a point in this year where I am recognized more now when I show up at things. So I think for me personally, I need to continue to show up at these events and keep going to ribbon cuttings and all these things that they have. I'm doing speed networking on Friday. That should be fun.
Yeah.
So all these things,
cool.
I just have to keep going. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So how can people find out more about you, Jay Morrissey, especially the Florida branch? How do they connect with you?
Yeah, absolutely. So www.jmorrissey.com. So it's JMORRISSEY.com. That's our website. I'm on that to tell you our story. And then, of course, you can always just reach out to me and call me or email me or, anything you like. I'm happy to chat with anybody. I'm happy to talk to somebody who just, hey, I'm thinking of a career change. Hey, I'm, not happy in my job, or hey, whatever it is. And happy to kind of give my 2 cents on what's going on here in Florida.
Yeah. And tuners, listeners, you can go ahead and look right down below. You're going to find those links right below the podcast. Lisa, thank you so much. It's been fantastic to have on the podcast. I really appreciate your insight.
Thank you, Jules. It was a pleasure to meet you.